In this example, we're going to look at how you can view your students' NJSLA scores and their subscores. So we're in the same Explorer view right now, and we're going to select the students that we would like to see. Rather than doing one class here from the drop-down, I'm going to click on Select Classes, and I want to grab several of my classes here. So let's just grab these 3 classes and view classes as a group. And now I want to select the NJSLA test, so I click on Select Tests. I'm going to apply the filter to NJSLA, and that gives me just a few choices here, much easier to navigate. I can see how many results I have as well. So let's look up the 1819 grade 4 language arts NJSLA, and I'll first check out my summary results. I can hover for more information, and then I'm going to dive into my student results. In this view, maybe easiest to sort by the scaled number here, scaled score. So let's go this way, and we can get a pretty good sense of how the students in all the 3 of these classes performed on the assessment. You can apply the same filters, you can apply the same sorting as you can in any other view within the Explorer. With NJSLA scores, we do have subscores available as well. So if you go to Select Columns and you go to Score Types, you can actually select which subscores you'd like to view. For this example, we're just going to view the ones that are the leveled scores, not the scaled scores. So let's put in writing conventions level, expression level, reading vocab level, informational text level, and we'll add in our reading literary text level as well. So I've selected 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the subscores and click OK. And you will see now that my view has certainly changed here. So I'm going to adjust the columns here as well so I can see everything on one screen. So I'm going to go back to select columns. I'll uncheck the result date. And then I'm also going to manually drag the student name field. So now I can see everything in one screen. So these students here you can see are all doing pretty well. This one jumps out here that there's, even though the student was well above exceeding the expectations, there was an area in reading vocabulary that they did struggle with. If we scroll down a bit, let's look at those students right around the cusp. So right in this area here, let's look at these 4 students. These 4 students were approaching it, and they were just short of 750. As you can see here, based on the subscores, these students need different supports. So this student right here struggled with reading informational text, but they exceeded it in 3 of the other areas here. This student was below expectation in writing expressions. If we look at the students just above, these students who barely met the expectation, you can see that this student here struggled with reading literary text, and the student here struggled in informational text. So this is where you can start to really dive into the data and look into the subscores and see what specific areas students excelled in or struggle with. Another thing you can do is you can sort and filter just by the subscores. So let's say I just want to see which of my students struggle with reading literary text. I can apply this filter here and say, just show me students who are below expectations. And there are my 6 students that struggle the most in this area. I can undo that filter and do the same thing for the writing expressions here. Let's just do the same thing, show me below expectations. And here are the 5 students that struggled in this area. So hopefully this example shows you some of the ways you can look at the data and figure out what questions you'd like to ask.